Are you single and alone this Valentine's weekend? Are you sick and tired of all the lovey-dovey couples going around ripping out your heartstrings? Do you have a cute little furry friend, like this fat ass right here? Well, if you're looking for a wholesome romance with your furry little friend, may I recommend A Man and His Cat, which is basically a depiction of my life story. For those of you who are into the kinkier side of things, may I recommend Beastars. Hello all of my otaku friends, my name is Profitaku and welcome back to my channel. As I reflect on my life choices this Valentine's weekend, there's nothing like a good rom-com manga to ground me and make me realize how fictional characters can somehow build beautiful relationships that I just can't seem to foster in real life. But all joking aside, rom-com manga is a total guilty pleasure of mine, and I've made that known throughout my time on this channel in many different reading logs, and I've read several different series, and I want this video to be my top 10 rom-com manga recommendations. And so I had a couple of criteria when building this list. The first one was it couldn't be a slice of life series that had like a little trickling of a romance in there. It just wasn't enough for me to call it a rom-com manga. An example of this would be Skip and Loafer, a manga that has been really hitting up the community as of late. The thing is with Skip and Loafer is that it is predominantly a slice of life series, so it just could not be on this list for the rom-com reasons. The next criteria that I had is that I had to have at least read 3 or more volumes of the series so that I can give it a really good grasp of what kind of rom-com this is. So, for example, there are several series that could not be on this list that have had 1 or 2 volumes released, and I will put them here on the side so that you can see, but these are manga that I do relatively enjoy, and maybe at some point they could take over on this top 10 list. So with that being said, let's get started with number 10. So for number 10, we have a new harem series that I am reading that I've already talked about a little bit in several reading logs, and that is We Never Learn. Do you want a rom-com manga that you can turn your brain off, stupid episodic situations, and a non-progressing storyline? Well, this is for you then. We Never Learn is a harem series about a group of girls who are good at a certain thing, but they do want to get into university at the subjects that they're bad at. So there is a tutor who has to tutor them on their bad subjects, and of course the crazy hijinks that go along with that. There are 5 girls in this series, and all 5 girls have really cool personalities, and each character is really unique and different. So if you do want a rom-com with strong characters, then this is one for you. And because the cast of characters, at least in the main set, is so big, there's very little room for side characters or side relationships. So it's a very constricted storyline, which I think is a recipe for a pretty good rom-com. The artwork itself is quite beautiful and really fun to look at. It's very reminiscent of like classic anime style, so it's a lot of fun to be able to see all of the girls and in the details that go into all of these drawings. It really is well done. Suffice it to say, the main MC boy in this manga sucks, and he just is an idiot. So, you know, it's one of those dumb tropey stories. So if that's not your cup of tea, if you want a very equal relationship, then this probably isn't the one for you. But I have enjoyed reading this series when I just need a good pick-me-up, and I will continue to read this. I have up to volume 19 right now, and I've read through 8 volumes. For number 9 on this list, we have a manga that is literally being driven by one character and one character only, and that is Komi-san in Komi Can't Communicate. If you want a manga that's more infuriating as a rom-com, then look no further than Komi Can't Communicate. Komi-san is actually a fantastic character. She's very well written, and I like that the character development that she goes through throughout the series, and also the goal that she has, which is to make 100 friends. It's a very wholesome goal. She has a communication disorder, which makes it hard for her to interact with people, and through the help of the MC boy, I don't know his name, it starts with a T, I'm terrible with names, but with his help, and a cast of characters, she continues to make her goal of 100 friends. Now this manga is a 4 coma, which can turn some people off, but I really do like the flow of the manga. I think the artwork is super cute and playful, and I think that it really does well for this type of story. This manga, at least as of late, has turned into a slice of life manga with a little sprinkle of romance in it. It's like having a really awesome looking cupcake, but on the inside of it is like bitter coffee grounds. And you're just like, ugh, I don't really like this, but I kinda do. So if you're into a slow burner rom-com series, then Komi Can't Communicate is for you, because the rom-com element or the romance element is pretty slow in this. There's little trickles here and there, and when they do happen, it's actually really beautiful. But this manga is completely ruined by the side characters. I hate most of the side characters. I think they're annoying, I think they cause problems that shouldn't be necessary, and I think all of them have forgettable personalities and character traits that I just really don't care about. But Komi-san is top 5 waifu for me. She's amazing. So if anything, definitely check this manga out for Komi-san. I also heard the anime gets rid of all this side character mumbo jumbo crap. So definitely check out the anime, because I heard the anime actually does really, really well with this. Next up, for the number 8 spot, we have My Senpai is Annoying. An anime just got released for this to pretty high acclaim. And this is a workplace rom-com about this girl who wants to just be treated like an adult, and this is her senpai who's just kind of like treating her like the little sister or the little girl, but she wants a little bit more than that. But she's a tsundere type, so she's like, hey, like, rah, rah, rah. And then this guy's like the dumb jock who's like, hey, woo. So yeah, it's pretty tropey. Basically, I think of this as if you had Wotakoi and you had Toradora and they had a baby. That's basically what this is. And it's not a good thing. This is like a worse version of Wotakoi in my opinion. In terms of the release itself by 7 Seeds, this is actually really, really cool. It's, at least in the first part of the manga, it's not fully colored, but as we get towards the end here, most of the volumes moving forward have full color pages, so they're really quite nice. And actually the release is really nice too. You have an embossed front and the spines look great as well, so it's really nice on the shelf. This manga is episodic, very short chapters actually. Each chapter is about 2 pages long. Every scenario is a little bit different. You have several different relationships going on. You've got the main 2 characters, you have another couple, and then you get introduced to another couple, which is between a boy and her friend, like a teenage boy, which can get kind of creepy, and I'm not sure how that's going to develop, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. Suffice it to say, this manga feels like something I've read 100 times, but it really does make me laugh. The scenarios are creative. I really like her as a character. She's really, really cute. She's really funny, and I like her personality, even if it is one that I have seen before. And actually, I was thinking about dropping this, but at volume 6, a big cliffhanger happened, and now I want to keep going with it. So get it or don't get it. This one's kind of up in the air. I enjoy it, but maybe check out the anime on this one first. For rom-com manga number 7, we have Quintessential Quintuplets, my first harem series, and this is basically a regurgitation of We Never Learn. It's about 5 girls who are in need of a tutor, but the main character boy marries one at the end, and that's what has been told in the first chapter, and it's about who gets married, who does he pick. This one does take itself more seriously. There are more serious scenarios. There's longer arcs that are a couple volumes long. Each girl has a very strong personality and a strong desire to do better things than just being a dumb broad. Now, that is to say, We Never Learn also has that too, but I think right now, since I've read more of this in its complete form, this really has a strong, like, girl power type of thing, which I really do like, because it makes the ending hit harder, but it also makes you feel good about where each character ends up. The artwork on this is quite fun and quite beautiful. From the beginning to the end, all of the artwork stays pretty consistent, and all of the girls are a lot of fun to see their different scenarios that they play in. but I really did enjoy the series. I read this to completion. I did like the ending, and some people don't because of the way that it progressed, especially at the end, so I'll leave that up for debate. But there is a box set that just got released, box set number 1, so I do recommend you pick that up if you are interested in the series. Next up, for number 6, we have kind of a dark horse in the rom-com community, one that just doesn't get talked enough, and that is Tomo-chan is a Girl. This is an 8-volume series. It is also a 4-coma, but it does flow very, very well, and this is very tropey. It's about this girl who is a tomboy, and she wants to be seen as a girl to her childhood crush, June. Now, June does not see Tomo-chan as a girl. He sees her as one of the bros, one of the guys. And so it's their funny dynamic as she tries to convince him that she can be a romantic interest. And so the funny comedy in this series comes from her trying to do girly things that is not part of her style, and June not really regurgitating those emotions. What I like about this manga is that it's short, sweet, and concise. My 3 favorite things in a rom-com. It establishes the relationship, it makes good character and development and character progression throughout all the volumes. The side characters enhance the main relationship and they do not get in the way, and it lands the ending, and it's very satisfying. So with that being said, I do highly recommend you pick this up, and you may find yourself really enjoying this one much more than you think you will. For my top 5, we're now at number 5. We have a very surprising one because I have debated this one for a long time, and that is Horimiya. Now, with Horimiya, I've talked about this before. I did a review on my channel, and I highly recommend you check that one out because I go into really strong depth of why I think this series is one of the most successful, but also one of the biggest failures of rom-com manga. And if you don't want to watch the review, it basically stems down to this. You have this girl who is super popular at school, but she's kind of a homebody at home. She takes care of the family, and she doesn't want people to know that. Then you have this boy right here who's the loner, outcast, nerdy kid at school, but outside of school, he's a total gangster, tattoos, piercings, the whole 9 yards. And then they see each other in their alter egos, and it sparks this friendship and relationship into, you know, them being outside of school and being normal. What this manga does well is the creativity of the actual relationship. It's really cute. It's really real. It's real for what a realistic relationship is going to be like. And also, it has a really strong story, and I think it's just executed well up until volume 6. The issue with this manga comes with all of the side characters and all the side relationships. You don't really care about those. At least I didn't care about them. I wanted more of these two, and I didn't get that past volume 6. It dives into all these other characters that I just really couldn't care about. Now, there is one more volume in this series, so we're almost at the end of this. I hope they land the ending. I hope we see a very good conclusion with these two, because I think that would make this series really wrap itself up well. This manga is like basically having a fruit cake. Yeah, it's a cake, but there's disgusting fruit in it that you don't really want in a cake. I do have to say, I love the artwork. I love the chibi drawings. I actually have the Horimiya art book back there, and it's really, really fun to look at. So the art, definitely one of my favorite artworks in all of rom-com manga. This is definitely a debatable rom-com manga. Some people love it, some people don't. I'm in the middle. I want to love it, which is why it's so high. All right, we are at number 4, nitty gritty here. This is Kaguya-Sama, Love is War. This is such a debatable manga for me because this is the first rom-com I've ever read in my manga reading experience, and I thought this was just absolutely incredible at the time. It's such a cool concept. You've got this girl and this boy who like each other, but they can't express it, so they play these war games, these mind games to try to get them to, you know, confess their love for each other. It was super unique. The cast of characters were great. There were really funny chapters in there, and it was awesome to be able to see a masterpiece being created right in front of my eyes. But the issue with this manga came that there was an identity crisis around volume 15, volume 16. It took a different turn. It dived more into the side characters that I really didn't care about per se, But the issue with the side characters were that it wasn't that they were bad side characters. They're really good side characters. It's just that the direction that the manga took with these side characters, I just did not like. And this turned from a rom-com to a thriller. There's all this drama in there, and I just don't like where this is headed. This was actually my #1 favorite rom-com of all time. It's now at #4. I can see it dropping down as low as #7. I'm putting it at #4 because I'm giving this a chance. I really want this to be the superstar rom-com that I know and love. Just for right now, it's not really hitting for me. Let me know down in the comments if you think so too. Next up for the bronze medal is a manga that could be considered overrated in the rom-com community. Personally for me, I really think that this is a gem, and that is Wotakoi Love is Hard for an Otaku. I really love the art for this. I also have the art book, and it's really great. And this manga is about otakus in the workplace. So these closet otakus, basically. You got these mid-20s people. They all have different obsessions. He loves video games. She loves creating manga. Their friends love cosplay and other things. And they all come together to enjoy these hobbies outside of work. It's a lot of fun. It's a really great cast of characters. There's 3 different couples in this manga, and all 3 relationships you're really invested in, and you really enjoy their development. Now, the one thing I will say is that the main character relationship development isn't really there, actually, at least in the last several volumes. Volume 11 comes out in June, and that wraps up the series, but it better wrap this relationship up. I'll just say that right now. What I like about this manga is that it's different. It has a lot of otaku culture references. It's just a breath of fresh air, and I really enjoy that aspect. I also enjoy the fact that this is an older romance manga. As somebody who's in their late 20s now, I can't believe I'm saying that, but this is right in my age group, so it really works well for me compared to reading something like Kaguya-Sama, which is in high school. So suffice it to say, this is really one of my favorites. It might not be yours, but that's why it's Profitaku's list. For my #2 rom-com manga, this is going to come as a surprise to many people, including myself. But I will say, before I even reveal it, I do want to say that this has the potential to be my #1 favorite rom-com. The only reason why I did not put it as my #1 is because it's not complete, and there actually aren't that many volumes out. And that is My Dress Up Darling. This manga is so underrated. I got on the Dress Up Darling wagon before the anime came out, okay? I'm not one of the anime bandwagoners. This was amazing when I read it, and let me tell you why. The story starts with our main character girl right here, and she loves cosplay, but she cannot make clothes. And we have our boy character who can make clothes. He's actually makes Hina dolls. And so what he does is he makes clothes for her, and then it gives him the chance to be able to make some clothes, and then she gets to cosplay her favorite things. It's a win-win situation for both. He's, the stereotypical trope. He's the loner boy. Everybody teased him. And then she is the super popular girl that talks to him. What this manga does so well is the identity that it presents. This is a cosplay manga. There's so much great information on cosplay in that community, but it also has a fantastic relationship that's built upon this idea. And at least in 4 volumes, it's never strayed from that, which I can really appreciate because there's strong development in every single chapter and volume. I like all of the characters, including the side characters that are presented in this manga, because not only is there romance going on, but there is a really strong, deep philosophical idea going on. Striving to do what you love, even though it's maybe not like fits your standard of like a body type, and creating a community of friends that you can go to enjoy this hobby with. It's very similar to our hobby of otaku culture, manga and anime. I love the artwork. It has stayed consistent in 4 volumes, which has been really, really nice. And I also like the main character boy. Though he's a loner, he really is a good character. He's got a lot of depth about him, and he has a really good heart, which I really enjoy in a main character male. Suffice it to say, this has a 9 out of 10 for me. It's gonna be a 10 out of 10 if it continues to be this good and it really ends well. Who knows when it's gonna end, but I will say, get on the Dress Up Darling train. You won't regret it. And for my number 1 rom-com that I have read, this should come as no surprise to those of you who have been on my channel for a while and have seen my top 10 manga that I have presented throughout my career on YouTube, but that is Sweat and Soap. Now you can complain that, well, Sweat and Soap really isn't a rom-com. Well, actually it is a rom-com. It's labeled as a rom-com on my anime list, and there are some comedic elements in here. It may just not be expressed as vocally as some of the other series on this table. If you don't know what Sweat and Soap is, it is about this girl who is a chronic sweater, and she is very concerned about her hygiene and her smell, and she works at a company called Lilla Drop. And this guy right here, he creates all the soaps for the company that she works at, and he is fascinated by her smell. So they start this friendship where he has to sniff her every day. It's really kinky, it's really weird, but then it develops into a relationship after that. What I like about this manga is, and I'm just going to talk about the romance aspect of it, because there's very little comedy. There is comedy, which is why it's a rom-com, but the thing I like about this is that it is the most wholesome and healthy depiction of a relationship that I've ever seen in manga or TV or anime. This manga taught me a lot of things about relationships. How a man should treat a woman. How there should be an equal partnership when one is feeling down or there's struggles in everyday adult life. How to bring each other up. And it's just really refreshing to see. The biggest dilemma I had with this series was actually the very beginning when he is trying to create a relationship with her. He's super aggressive and super upfront with what he wants, which is fine, but like the problem is that's just not how he is for the rest of the series. So I think the mangaka wanted to kind of grasp you in with this ecchi like story because it was such an obscure thing, and then once he hooked you in, then they could do what they wanted to do. Suffice it to say, this should be on everyone's shelf. I highly recommend this manga. Check out the box set, and I hope that an anime gets released for this soon. I know I'll definitely be watching it. And that is my top 10 rom-com manga that I have read. Obviously, this list is going to change or will change in the future, and so maybe at some point, maybe next Valentine's Day, I'll do another top 10 rom-com. But at least for now, I feel very confident where I place these, and the order of which I've had these have actually changed a lot in the last 3 or 4 days as I've been thinking while I've been scripting out this video. If you have an opinion on the order of the rom-com manga that I presented here today, let me know down in the comments. What are your top 5 favorite rom-com mangas? What are some of the worst ones you've ever read? Let me know any recommendations that you have on manga that I haven't read yet. I want to read My Love Story. I want to read Nisekoi, but if you've got any other ones, yeah, let me know. I'm more than happy to continue to add to my collection. So with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, tap the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so that you know when more of my videos come out, and I will see you in the next one. Take care now. Bye-bye.